So I will call the executive committee to order rather at 1:31 p.m. Today is Tuesday, January 11th, 2022. And before we get started, I would just like to acknowledge that I'm calling in from the traditional and unceded territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh, Coquitlam, and Métis nations. The work that these are the nations where we would typically be conducting our in-person work. Today, I'm calling in from the territories of the Métis and Coquitlam First Nations. And I want to acknowledge that this is a virtual meeting, and therefore we're all calling in from different occupied territories, and it's important to understand our role as settlers in this regard as a student society. We'll start off with a roll call of attendance, and I'm going to call on folks by position. And if you can please share your name, pronouns, and access needs, that would be fantastic. And I'll start off with myself. I'm the president. Hi, everybody. My name is Gabe Leosis. My pronouns are he, him, his, and my access needs are met. Pass it off to the VP Events and Student Affairs.
Hello, my name is Jess. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and all my access needs are met. Oh, I just don't know where the agenda is, so I'm going to look for it.
The VP External and Community Affairs.
Hi, this is Matt. My pronouns are he, him, his, and as of right now, my accessibility needs are met for the most part. I was going to keep my camera off just because my brother is chilling in my room.
The VP Equity and Sustainability is on a leave of absence, so she is not joining us today. The VP Finance and Services. All right, in the chat, Alice Pangura, pronouns she, hers, access needs are met. VP Internal.
Corbett, pronouns are he, him, his, access needs are met. Thank you.
Thanks, Corbett. VP University.
Hey, my name is Serena, pronouns they, she, and all my access needs are met.
Thank you. Moving on to society staff, we will begin with the operations organizer.
Hi, everyone. My name is Aisha. My pronouns are she, her, and hers, and my access needs are met.
Thank you. Board organizer.
Hi, everyone. This is Ella. Pronouns she, her, hers. My access needs are met, but I do have to work on some urgent projects. So if you need to ping me, I'll be watching the chat.
Awesome. Thanks, Ella. Campaigns Policy Research and Community Affairs Coordinator.
Hi everyone, my name is Betty, pronouns she, her, hers. My access needs are met.
Fantastic. Administrative Assistant.
Hi, my name is Fanny, and all my access needs are met.
Thank you. And Campaigns Coordinator.
Hi everyone, my name is Muriel, pronouns she, her, hers. All my access needs are met.
Did anyone not have an opportunity to share their name, pronouns, and access needs with the group? All right, we will then move on to section 4 of our agenda for today, which is adoption of the agenda. The motion 4.1 reads as follows: be it resolved to adopt the agenda as presented. Do I have a mover? Jess moves. Do I have a second?
Corbett seconds.
Corbett seconds. Are there any questions, comments, concerns, or amendments to be put forward for today's agenda? I have one, well, technically two. I'd just like to strike 6.2 and 6.3 from the agenda, just to keep the meeting down to 1 hour. I'll add those to the next executive committee agenda. Jess, go ahead.
I want to amend the agenda to include a motion under new business titled COVID-19 Student Feedback Survey Gift Cards on behalf of ESAC.
Thank you. And you'll paste the motion wording in the chat for us. It was sent via email as well, so executive committee members have that at their disposal. So Jess is proposing that amendment. Is there any others to consider at this time? All right, so just to summarize, we have 3 amendments being proposed. So the first is to strike 6.2, second is to strike 6.3, and the third is to add an item under new business called COVID-19 Student Feedback Survey gift cards on behalf of ESAC. So I'll move that batch of amendments, those 3 amendments to the agenda. Do I have a second for that? Just seconds. Any discussion on the amendments to the agenda? All right, well, we'll put that to a vote. All those in favor seeking unanimous consent on the amendment, please raise your hand if you'd like to vote against or abstain. And if there is at least one objection, we'll move to a roll call vote. I'm seeing no objection, so this is carried unanimously, which means we'll move back to the main motion, which now reads, be it resolved to adopt the agenda as amended. Do I have any other amendments, questions, or comments on today's agenda before we put the main motion to a vote? Seeing none, then we'll put this question to a vote. All those in favor seeking unanimous consent on adopting the agenda as amended, please raise your hand if you'd like to vote against or abstain. I'm seeing no objections, so that's carried unanimously. And we'll move directly into item 5, which is presentations. And we have 5.1, Gondola Campaign Action Plan. And this is to be presented by Muriel. So whenever you're ready, Muriel, you have the floor.
Thank you very much. Hi, everybody. As we are all aware, there is going to be a vote on the Burnaby Gondola very soon, and I would like to share some of the plans we have rolled out and also about to roll out for an effective campaign for that. I'm going to share my screen now. Let's see. Okay, so if everyone can see my screen, can you all see?
Yep.
Okay, so for the vote, is projected to take place on the 24th. However, when I called the city clerk, I was told that they were unsure if the vote will take place on the 24th or on the 31st. So depending on the item on the agenda the agenda is going to be released on the 21st. So depending on the items they have on the agenda on the 21st, we are going to know if the projected date for the vote will be on the 24th or on the 31st. That is happening this month. So it's either scheduled on the 24th or on the 31st. So all the plans we are taking in anticipation that the vote will be held on the 24th. However, if it's pushed back by 1 week, that's also fine. But most of the stuff that we have here is done with 24th, with bearing in mind 24th as the day for the projected vote. Okay, so when it comes to the gondola, we had a lot of plans, but fortunately, because of COVID, most of the campaigning will be done mainly online. All the in-person stuff we had scheduled, the tabling, merge, reaching out to students on campus by having a QR code, all those stuff has been scraped for people's safety. But despite that, we also still need people to be, we need to rally students around the cause so that the counselors see how important this is for students. Okay, so the first goal is to get more people to sign on to the petition. The petition was created by SFU, and all efforts to try and make the process of signing the petition much easier has not gone well for us. So because you need the person that created it to make changes to the platform. However, we are not getting feedback from SFU communications. So what we need to do in terms of that is to get publicity. So what we've done is that we've created a poster. We did that last year, and then we uploaded it on our website, and it's also on our social media handles. Faculty support, we've sent out, I have sent out an initial email to faculty waiting for feedback from them. When it comes to our student body, we've sent out an email to the entire student body, which was drafted Monday. Monday it was sent out to all students. We also have reached out to TSSU and GSS. For TSSU, unfortunately, Organizer 1 and Organizer 2, Mona and Lee, have both resigned because of personal reasons. So the organization is going through some structural shifts right now. So they haven't been quite responsive based on that. GSS, the email has been, to my knowledge, the email has gone out. We're still waiting for confirmation. We have a banner in the staff currently, and I'm hoping that you guys can help convince council members and also some constituents to send forward the email to their members. Sometimes when students see mass emails sent, they don't open the email, they don't read it. So it would be better if it's sent by the organizations or individuals they are familiar with, so that it seems that the email is on a personal level. So we would like council and you, the executives, to help us with dispersing information on that. We needed a video on the snow, like how difficult it is to get on campus and also off campus. But unfortunately, we didn't get any volunteer. And from what I have on my app, my weather app, it seems it's not going to snow until the 18th. Till 18th, I have till the 18th, and it's just rain. So I don't know what we're gonna do about the video about that, but that is on hold. For social media campaign, we started the phase one before we left, and that was mainly done by Jess. Thank you very much, because our communications coordinator was on a break. The second one, we'll be having a town hall, and it is scheduled for Friday, the 21st of January. We have invited somebody from Translink, we invited somebody from GSS, somebody from SFU External, and also somebody from GSS. So you should expect them to be there. The time will be from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. We'll need support in terms of attendance. Students will be asked to sign on from Eventbrite. So if all of you could be there, that would be great. So ask students to join when the flyer is ready, which I am expecting tomorrow. I will share with you guys, and it will be very helpful if you could share on your personal handle too. There are a lot of misconceptions about the gondola. So if students have any questions, why a gondola and not a sky train? Why won't it fall? Issues about why it's taking so long for it to be constructed, what we need to do to get counselors to pay more attention. Everything that you need to know will be answered there. So students should encourage people to join us. The other important thing too is about sending letters to the Burnaby City Councillors. The letter, the crust of the letter will be the same for all the councillors. However, we will fine-tune each letter to why the councillor should vote for the gondola in terms of their interest and the things that they would like to do. The letters will be ready on Thursday. We need people. We are 8 councillors in total. I'm expecting 3 people to send to 3. Every councillor has 3 people sending the letters in. If we could get people to commit to sending the letter, that would be great. You don't need to do anything. You just need to put your name in there. That's all. The letter has been drafted. Everything will be politically correct. So you shouldn't worry about it being putting yourself in any situation you don't want to. We won't step on anybody's toes. It's going to be crafted in a very good way. So please, if you could just volunteer, that would be nice. That would be very, very good. I'm expecting all the letters to go in. Hold on, excuse me. Sorry, I'm expecting all the letters to have been received by the 18th of January for each councillor. Sorry. The last part is social media campaigning, and that's the second phase of it. That's this year till the 24th or the 31st. We have paid advertisements on Facebook and Instagram. Currently, SFU is also paying for ads online on Facebook and on Instagram. So one way to get more traction on social media is to use what SFU has already paid for, which is Give a Student a Lift, the name of the campaign. So please, in your engagement on social media, try to use that hashtag to get more traction there. Also, we want to encourage all constituents and groups to share our posters, use the hashtag, engage people online with that, so that there will be more visibility of our campaign online. Consistency and momentum. We need people to get on there when we share. So when Ilham shares, maybe if you're comfortable with it, your personal handle, if you could share it, that would be great. So in terms of the scheduled vote for the Burnaby Mountain Gondola in 2 weeks, this is a brief summary of what we have. If you have any questions, please let me know. And this ends my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Muriel. This is fantastic. And we're really in crunch time when it comes to making sure that this gondola happens. So thank you for your labor in putting this together. Does anyone have any questions for Muriel? Just see in the chat, Matt says, thank you for your presentation. Ella, you have your hand up, you can go ahead.
Not so much a question as more just to fill in members of exec. So we have confirmed that Ruben, the Director of External Relations at GSS, will be presenting. Joanne Curie is reaching out. It will either be presenting personally herself on behalf of SFU, or we'll have somebody present 4 in her space or in her place. And then Holly from TransLink, who's the program manager of the Gondola project on that end. We're in communication tomorrow, and either she'll be presenting or someone on behalf of her.
Awesome. That's really great. This is one of, I think, the closest, the only project that we've closely collaborated. I can't speak today. This is one of the only projects that I can think of that we've collaborated on this close with both GSS and SFU. So that's great that we have those folks coming. Well, if there aren't any questions, I just want to say thank you again, but emphasize that we really need everyone's hands on deck for this, because if this vote doesn't go the way that we want it, it will be years and years before it'll be like the 2030s by the time we have a gondola. And we know that the SFU community cannot wait that long. And so we really have to get the positive side of the gondola out there, because right now all Burnaby City Council is getting is the negativity from folks who are opposed to the gondola. And so we really need to push why this is so transformative for students, why it's so transformative for the community as a whole. Yeah, Jess just asked in the chat who from our side is going to be speaking, and Ella responded, Matt. So yeah, can't wait for that. Okay, well, thank you, Muriel, once again. That's fantastic. Matt, you're taking Colin's place? Or my place. I'm not the gondola kid. I should have put on my gondola scarf for this meeting. Anyway, well, thanks everyone. We'll move on then from presentations, and we'll hop into reports. This is section 6. We'll start with 6.1. We have report on SFSS COVID-19 response round table. So I just want to take an opportunity, as we have been at the last couple of executive committee meetings, to go over our response to the developing COVID-19 case surge and the progress the society has made in our response rather. And so I'll begin, and then I might call on a couple of folks to, I guess, fill in any gaps. And then after that, anyone else can jump in as well if they have any information to add. And so we continue to have near daily check-ins amongst executive committee members and management. And we get a lot done during these sessions, and a number of important things that got done since the last executive committee meeting a week ago is, for staff, we re-implemented the home office subsidy, which had been something that was operating for the entirety of the pandemic, essentially, whereby we would give a subsidy to staff to help subsidize their home office equipment or things like internet bills and stuff like that due to the work from home situation. The home office subsidy was reinstated, and staff will be able to access that. Jess and I organized a town hall with staff members and subtenants and constituency groups yesterday afternoon, and it was an opportunity for us to go over measures that have been implemented, where we think the measures are going to go in the coming weeks, as well as hear out their concerns and answer their questions. We've been working on communications, a communications plan for communicating all of our new measures to our membership, really communicating the important things, like the importance, if you're accessing the student union building, the importance of wearing masks, the fact that all of our services, most of them anyway, are being moved remote until at least the 24th, and potentially later if the executive committee so chooses. And I guess I should also mention that the Student Union building has been temporarily closed from January 4th up until this point. The building will be reopening tomorrow for the general public to use, but at a reduced capacity. So the building staff team under John's leadership has been physically reducing the capacity of the building by removing furniture, moving around chairs so that to encourage physical distancing and less people congregating. And lastly, on my end anyway, we've scheduled a press conference for next Friday, so not this upcoming Friday, but next Friday. Hoping to get some media attention on this because we're going to share the results of our survey, go and emphasize our calls to action to both SFU, but also the provincial government on how to protect students' safety as we move into in-person learning starting January 24th. And Jess, I am wondering if I can call on you to speak a bit on the survey front.
Hi, the survey went out yesterday, but I have been talking to a few of our counselors saying that they have not received it yet on the personal email. So I've been talking to Ilham and Muriel for the past 2 days to figure out why that's the issue. And I think today the plan is from Muriel to send it out from her email because the communications email of the do not reply at sfss.ca has not been sending anything out. And I've also faced that trouble with even for the clubs days registration as well. And if we have to extend the deadline because it's due on the 18th, we might have to at least by 1 or 2 days, and then a data collection will take 1 whole day so that we can be prepped for the town hall, or I mean the press conference on the 21st.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. I guess we'll just have to stay updated on that and see what actions we have to take depending on whether or not we can get that issue fixed. But thank you, Jess, for sharing. And we're going to talk about tech rentals and emotion under new business. So just for the sake of time, I think we'll wait for that. But just as a reminder, the executive committee has until January 24th to make a decision on whether further measures should be implemented or not, or whether these current measures should be extended. And so please stay tuned for that decision that will be happening at next week's executive committee meeting. Did anyone else have anything to add in terms of the SFSS's response to COVID-19 case surge? Yeah, Matt, go ahead, please.
I just wanted to give an update that we did have a town hall yesterday with our constituency groups and also like subtenants and whatnot. So that was an open discussion and that was really good because we were able to just kind of make sure that everyone's on the same page and moving forward. We're open to hearing either concerns or, you know, just feedback because one thing that I wanted to mention, we haven't been technically this is like a hybrid and we've only had 2, you know, really extreme like spectrums of where we've kind of been. One was like a full closure where we weren't open like whatsoever. And then also, you know, now, like a full closure and then full opening. And now we're kind of in this in between where we are kind of testing out like a hybrid. So that's what I wanted to mention as well.
Thanks, Matt. Okie dokie. Well, that concludes 6.1. We'll move directly into new business. And we'll begin with 7.1, which is tech equipment rental. And this was submitted by Corbett. So the motion reads, whereas council has already agreed to purchase office equipment for staff and council through SFU, whereas there will be a lengthy delay in procuring this equipment, Whereas with the return to remote work for staff, there's a need for the procurement of laptops for some staff so they can do their work. Whereas the operations organizer has researched a solution where we can rent laptops on a weekly basis. Be it resolved that the executive committee approve up to $5,000 from X as a temporary spending to rent tech equipment for staff to use during this period of remote work, while we wait for previously ordered equipment from SFU to arrive. Be it further resolved that the executive committee recommends to council to approve, if needed by its January 19th meeting, any additional spending required to continue renting tech equipment for staff who need it until the previously ordered equipment from SFU arrives. Do I have a mover?
Corbett moves.
Corbett moves. Do I have a second? Just seconds. So the motion's been moved and seconded. The author and the move of the motion is Corbett. You can have the floor.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. So yeah, as kind of the whereas statement clauses are, we have a need for, because we've switched back to fully more remote, or at least will be, sorry, kind of joining. Our current working plan is allow staff to do remote work in like where operationally allowed, but also because we've closed the building, we might have to extend it based on Omicron, that we need to support a number of our, especially our newer staff or some of our existing staff to be able to more effectively work from home. And so we had originally, the council has originally ordered quite a bit of new office equipment. So primarily desktops, a few laptops, but primarily desktops with webcams and such. But that's for their offices in the sub. So we don't have enough. We have some from previous purchases from previous board years. They have some laptops that some staff are using, like including I'm using one currently at home right now, so I can engage with this meeting. But we need more of that, but we don't have the funds, I don't think, to purchase fully brand new equipment. And so and while we're waiting for the office equipment to come in, there's some expected delays from the vendors through SFU. This is a good, renting equipment is a good stopgap option. And so Aisha already did some searching for from local companies in Vancouver that could supply us with office equipment, primarily laptops. They could do desktops or laptops or a number of things. And I looked through them and through 4 different companies and found that one particular company seemed to be the best fit for our needs based on tech availability or tech items, as well as cost. And so that one is a company is basically a projector rental company. They also rent out laptops and desktops and such. And so based on work that Aisha had done previously about people's needs for tech, for equipment, we have a list that's in the budget breakdown that Jess has linked in the chat. And with all, which includes enough for 7 staff and then 5 backup computers, because there might be more people hired, or maybe someone's home computer or current computer laptop dies, and so they need to swap it out. So it'd be good to have a bit of a buffer. One of those computers needs to be a high-end Mac. It's for on the comms coordinator. And looking at the options available, only really one company gave us the option of having a powerful enough Mac that would work for her needs. And it actually has to be a desktop Mac because the laptop options weren't available. So it's a little bit more expensive. The prices I have listed are, like, the vast majority of people are fine with a Windows laptop. And so looking at their options, I selected what's called they called an advanced laptop, which has a little bit more powerful, a little bit more up to date, and it's has like webcam and other things that would allow us to do remote work. And it was only $50 more per month than for each unit versus the basic laptop. But the high-end Mac will cost $330 a month. The website, it wasn't clear if they were charged taxes or shipping and stuff was all included in the pricing. We'll double check that. So just to be safe, I added on 2 layers of contingency, one for taxes of 12% and one for potential delivery at 15% on top of that, just in case of delivery or some other costs, unexpected costs. I also recommend that one of the backup computers also be another high-end Mac in case either another, say, comm staff actually needs a more powerful computer to use. But on that, I think Windows is good enough for all the other laptops. So total amount comes out to up to potentially about almost $2,800. I looked at the budget and found that sorry, my brain, that there's a line item in Department 31, which is kind of our overall administrative department, that has $2,900 in it budgeted, and should be accessible because it's kind of independent from all the other departments that have their own office supplies and office equipment line items. So it should be good to go. But this would only last for the first month. So that's why the motion has a further resulting that if we need to go past a month, if we're closed down or if we have more staff being remote past, say, into middle, late February, then we'd have to go to council again to get more money, which I think is fair. So that's any questions or comments, please let me know.
Thanks, Corbett, for explaining the motion. The floor is open for questions or comments. Jessica typed a question in the chat. It said, do you know, how do we ensure that our data is protected? It looks like that question is addressed to Corbett. Corbett?
He dropped out.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I can just ask him, but I'm in full support of this because staff has been asking for this even before the holidays, and then we were working with SFU on this, but the IT has been slow on getting back to us with equipment and giving us a timeline. So this provides like quicker responses to our call to hybrid work and remote work. So I'm in favor.
Thank you, Jess. Any other, the floor's still open, any other discussion? Well, seeing none, we'll put the question to a vote. So be it resolved that the we need to make some amendments to the motion, but I don't know what those are. We need to wait for Corbett to come back. All right, so based on Corbett's email, I would like to move to amend the motion to strike X and replace it with 720/31. Do I have a second for that amendment? Jess seconds. So we will open the floor for discussion on the amendment. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll put that to a vote. All those in favor seeking unanimous consent, please raise your hand if you'd like to vote against or abstain. That's carried unanimously. And now we're back to the main motion. Hi, Corbett, I see you've logged back on. We just passed an amendment to replace X with the correct line item.
Thank you. And the value, the number amount?
We just kept it at 5,000, up to 5,000.
Oh, okay. My mistake. Yeah. Okay. Because the line item only has like $2,900 in it. So.
All right. Do you want to amend the motion then?
Yes. Now that we have an actual price.
All right.
And sorry about that earlier. My computer just literally froze right in the middle of everything, so I had to restart.
So can you just state your amendment?
I would like to amend the motion to read, be it resolved. Well, sorry, I gotta get the actual wording. 1 second. Okay. In the first be it resolved clause, I'd like to amend it to read, be it resolved, the executive committee approve up to $2,900 from the line item you've amended as temporary spending to rent tech equipment for staff, and et cetera, same thing after that.
All right.
Change from $5,000 to $2,900.
All right, Corbett moved an amendment. Is there a second? Is there a second? Y'all know the motion fails if someone doesn't second it, right? I'm 2 seconds away.
Jess.
Okay, Jess seconds. Y'all need to wake up. All right, any questions or comments on the amendment? All right, we'll put this to a vote. All those in favor? Seeking unanimous consent? All right, that's carried unanimously. So we're back to the main motion. Any last discussion? All right, so we'll put the motion to a vote just for clarity, just so everyone knows what the final product of the motion was. It's be it resolved that the executive committee approve up to $2,900 from line item 720/31 as temporary spending to rent tech equipment for staff to use during this period of remote work while we wait for previously ordered equipment from SFU to arrive. Be it further resolved that the executive committee recommends to council to approve, if needed by its January 19th meeting, any additional spending required to continue renting tech equipment for staff who need it until the previously ordered equipment from SFU arrives. All those in favor seeking unanimous consent on this motion, please raise your hand if you'd like to vote against or abstain. If there is one objection, we then move to a roll call vote. All right, I'm seeing none, no objections. So this amendment is the main motion is carried. So that was 7.1. We'll move on to 7.2, which is Jess's motion, which is titled COVID-19 Student Feedback Survey, Gift Cards on behalf of ESAC, the Events and Student Affairs Committee. So Jess's motion reads, whereas the SFSS Executive Committee, with the support of SFSS staff and non-executive counselors, created a survey titled Learning Experience in COVID-19 Student Feedback Survey to collect students' feedback on the in-person teaching and hybrid learning model adapted by SFU during the fall 2021 semester. Whereas the survey will be open to SFU undergraduates and SFSS membership only. Whereas the data collection will help guide the SFSS and the calls to action toward SFU and the BC government for the duration of the spring 2022 semester. Whereas VP Events and Student Affairs, Jess Dela Cruz, is the chair of the Events and Student Affairs Committee and will use this as a portion We'll use this portion of the budget to provide $1,500 worth of e-gift cards to students who win the draw for completion of the survey, whereas ESAC has been unable to pass motions through the committee as they have been unable to meet quorum and can only get through discussion items, therefore is unable to have this motion under ESAC. Whereas it's good practice to have motions passed through live recorded meetings with emails, with meeting minutes instead of email motions for transparency, for record, and for discussion. Therefore, be it resolved that VP Events and Student Affairs will notify ESAC of this motion at the next ESAC formal meeting. Be it further resolved that the Executive Committee pass this reimbursement worth $1,500 through Executive Committee on behalf of ESAC. Be it further resolved that this $1,500 will be taken from line item 816/20, the Events Committee budget. Is there a mover? Jess moves. Is there a second?
Corbett seconds.
Corbett seconds. Jess is the mover and the author of the motion. You have the floor.
Yes, so this motion is basically saying that we're gonna allocate funds from ESAC to pay for gift cards worth $1,500 to students who complete the survey, but the students who do complete the survey are entered in a draw, so whoever wins that draw, and then the gift card is TBA still. I still don't know what to purchase it for, but that's what it is. And because ESAC can't meet, I'm gonna pass it through here and I'll let them know we didn't.
Perfect. Thank you, Jess, for putting this forward. Are there any questions or comments as it pertains to the motion on the floor? Seeing no questions or anyone on the speakers list, this motion will be put to a vote. All those in favor seeking unanimous consent. If you'd like to vote against or abstain, please raise your hand via the Zoom raise hand feature. And if there are any objections, we'll have to move to a roll call vote. Seeing none, this motion is carried, and that concludes new business. We'll then move on to discussion items, and just pointing out that we have 10 minutes left in this meeting, so if we can keep our discussion items brief, that would be great. And so we have 8.1 on our agenda, which is elections and referenda, spring 2022. This was submitted by Corbett to have a discussion around how to campaign and advertise for the referendum questions in the spring 2022 elections, as well as advertising to students what each executive committee position is for people who are interested in running in the general elections. So Corbett, the floor is yours.
Thanks. So yeah, this had 2 points, or 2 main sections. One, I'll go to the exec side first. I believe there's been emails out through Mariel and others about setting up interview with the CGSF to go over your position, as well as peak interviews. The peak one is urgent. They needed to be interviewed before this Friday, so I hope you've all replied back to the email with your times availability. I'm set up for later today. I think Almas replied to asking if they can do right because your schedules is really packed. Hopefully they can get back to you on that. If not, I can always fill that in as a backup because I filled in as VP Finance last year. So yeah, I just wanted to make sure that that gets done because it's really important. I think it's something that's always kind of been missing, I think, from year to year, that students don't really get much information. One, previous bylaws didn't have much information on what to actually do. And then two, they just didn't really advertise very well what each role is really for. I think we have a good opportunity now that we're the ones that have changed these roles, added new stuff to it, and have actually done it to be able to give good, solid advice and knowledge on what these roles are and what people are getting themselves into if they run and win. So I think it's important for us from an educational perspective and engagement perspective to do this and to utilize, to work with as many groups as we can to advertise that. Additionally, it might be also helpful if we all did like our own little, on your phone or something, our own little blurb that could be released during nomination period. over the next 2 weeks, basically, to help with the advertising and such. Just it's also more casual, and you can even just go to like you can even do it yourself, where it's like, you know, you talk about some of the challenges and stuff of the role. You can be very honest about it, or very in detail, or not. It's up to you. You know, I would like to see us do that as well. I can even start scheduling times if people are interested in doing that, but I'm not going to force that extra labor on you if you're not interested. There's no motion today, but I will reach out to people. I just want to give a heads up. This is an idea I'd like us to pursue. Second item is related to the referendum questions. I'm meeting with staff soon to go over a full campaign plan. It'll all really be important because for all of us to be involved in some aspect of the marketing and pushing for this win, the get out to vote and campaigning, because, you know, especially the referendum items around the dedicated fees for DNA and SOCA and the increased fee to FNMISA. We passed that exec, and so we should also be involved heavily in the encouragement of this, that these items pass. So be on the lookout for when the campaign plan comes out. And if you wanted to have some like direct say from the start of it, I can let you know what the meeting will be. If you want to be more directly involved, I'm happy to have your support and effort. So those are 2 items I just want to talk about. If you have any questions or comments or anything, let me know here or in emails.
Thanks, Corbett. Did anyone have any questions for Corbett at this time? Okay, well, expect a message from Corbett in the next little while. Okay. The next item is also Corbett's. It's titled Work Reports, to check in on the progress of executive committee's work reports that everyone is behind on.
Yeah, so just wanted to get an update from people on what you've gotten done, what you still have to get done, or if you haven't finished them all off, when you plan to be done by, etc. Just because we had our last exec meeting, we brought this up as an issue. It's important for us to be finished, and I just wanted for further accountability and transparency with our members. So I can go first myself. I have of the 4 that I was not done, I got 2 of them finished, and I have 2 more to go. They're in the last half of November and first half of December. So big, heavy weeks. But my hope is to get it done by this weekend. I was planning to get it done last weekend, but just too much other stuff came up.
Yeah, thank you, Corbett. In the chat, I see Jessica said she has done 2 out of the 4 of the work reports that she has left. She's on a roll. I personally am still very, very behind. I haven't done mine since the beginning of November, if I'm being honest. That's because, 1, I was on my leave of absence for almost the entire month of November. Hi, Zach. It was then the holidays, December, dealing with the COVID stuff, and now my resignation and transitioning out. So I have made a commitment, and I've emailed Almus and the Oversight Committee that I will conclude all of my work reports, including my semester report, by my resignation date on January 24th. Others? Matthew?
Yeah, I finished the last ones from October, and I just need to figure out which one I'm on LOA, the one that I was on LOA, and then I just have 2 more to catch up on, and then the new one that just came out. So they will be done by next week.
Thanks, Matt. Serena?
I'm pretty sure I'm all caught up, I think.
Yeah, I think Serena and Almas are the 2 that don't have any missed reports.
That must be nice. Okay, well, that's everyone. Did I miss anyone?
Marie's not here, so, but that's it, I think.
Okay. Okay. Well, there we go. Thanks everyone for your updates. And we will move on to 8.3, which is reminder to finish your SOP drafts by end of February 2022. Beta, did you have anything to say on this?
Just a reminder, then I think I haven't had a conversation with Jess on this. Maybe we can meet Jess and give you a draft, and for those who have started. So I think I have Gabe's draft, a Corbett. I still don't have Matt. I don't have Alma's. We need to meet with Serena on that. The purpose is to help with the transition. So if your SOP is ready by then, that will be great. And I'll reach out again. Right now I'm doing election stuff, but I'll reach out to just check in with folks on where they are with that.
Awesome, thank you. Oh, sorry, did anyone have any questions for BD? BD, I haven't something in my inbox that I need to respond to you about regarding this, and I'll try and do that as soon as possible.
It's all good.
Jess?
BD, my calendar is updated. Are you able to set up a meeting? Because I don't think I've seen any documents or anything like that. So I think that would be helpful if we can go through it together on a one-on-one.
Yep, I'll do that. And update you, yeah.
Perfect. Thanks, BD.
Mhm.
So that takes us to the end of our meeting. We're at adjournment. So be it resolved to adjourn the meeting at 2:29. Do I have a mover? Jess moves. Do I have a second?
Matt.
Matt seconds. All those in favor seeking unanimous consent? All right, that's carried. Thanks, everyone. We kept it to an hour. And I'll catch up with y'all later. Have a good day.